Mind-reading devices can now predict preconscious thought, meaning they can figure out what you're going to do before you do it, should you be concerned. In case you're unfamiliar, a brain-computer interface is just anything that connects your brain to a computer. It can include some things that are non-invasive, like EEG caps, and those are pretty cool. It can also include chips that go directly in your brain. Those can span from a single electrode, or hundreds, or even thousands, and now we're seeing them being placed in multiple areas of the brain with pretty interesting effects, including some emergent behaviors. I was also pretty surprised to see something that looked like a shock title in Nature, which is the highest paper in the land. Basically, if you are in biology and you publish in Nature, your career is set. You're the best of the best. So this did surprise me, but we'll get into it. Brain-computer interfaces can do more than they ever have before in just a few years. People are walking and talking and even being able to experience touch when they've lost the ability to feel anything from the neck down. They can even feel it through somebody else's body. This is because we can give people virtual experiences. If we can control the electrical activity in the brain, it doesn't have to be one way. It can go both, but I do have some qualms with it, like the bionic eyes fiasco. I've got a chip on my shoulder for this one because a company called Second Sight gave people their vision back by implanting a chip in their brain and allowing visual information to go from their eye to their brain when their eyes didn't work. However, they went out of business in 2020, and people's eyes slowly became obsolete as the materials degraded. People just lost their sight. Even not doing firmware updates resulted in people losing their sight. Also, good luck finding a doctor willing to remove it. There's also been cases in which people have had their medical implants removed when they did not want them removed. They were compelled and threatened that the company would sue them. Just not always great, but they have the potential to do a lot of good. As for preconscious thought, meet Nancy Smith. She was a musician who was in a car crash and ended up becoming paralyzed from the neck down, and she really wanted the ability to play music again. There's been roughly 90 people who got brain-computer interfaces just in the last 2 decades, and they are becoming much more refined. She's one of the only patients who've had multiple locations for the brain-computer interfaces. She really wanted to be able to compose, so researchers did their best to make that happen. One location was placed in the motor cortex, which is involved with obviously moving as well as planning to take an action, which is important if you're going to control things in real time. She also had one placed in the posterior parietal cortex, which is involved in things like planning, reaching, and moving. Now, them not really knowing what was going to happen sounds maybe irresponsible, but I'm not a neurosurgeon, and it seems to have a beneficial result for her. She could play music again, but weirder, she can now play music again before she plays it. Yes, when she would just look at the screen and maybe kind of think about a song, it would start playing all on its own. No actions needed. This is actually really not inconsistent with what we already know about how our brains work. We already take the action prior to actually taking the action. It's just maybe a little bit uncanny to hack that system. While yes, these trials do sound kind of science fiction and maybe kind of dangerous, it is important to know that the people who participate in these kinds of trials are usually profoundly disabled, meaning this has the possibility of really improving their lives, and yes, they are dangerous. There's no getting around that. So should you be worried that mind-reading devices can now predict your preconscious thoughts? No, not at all. This is nowhere near being a consumer product. Follow for more.